listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media, this is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. Let me remind you, if you ever have any more finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach me directly. Again, it's 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me. First, there are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. Celebration of the day. It's a pretty quiet day on the celebration front. National Anisette Day. National Anisette Day. Yeah, we have that. We observe it July 2nd every year. Anisette is an anise-flavored liqueur made by distilling aniseed and sometimes adding a sugar syrup. Anisette is popular in Spain, Italy, and Portugal. I should add France in there also. I wonder, it's all the World Cup countries. Oh, I shouldn't even talk about the World Cup. Are you watching the World Cup? Just checking to see. I'm not a big soccer guy, so I haven't been doing much on the World Cup front. Checking the markets for you. Dow Jones Industrial Average down 144 points as we... Yeah, that's painful. Down 144 points as we speak this morning. Oil down 33 cents a barrel. It's been yo-yoing a little bit. But then again, when we look at oil, we always want to look and say, what is it doing to how does that affect me? That's what I want to know. You can look at it, unless you're an oil trader, does it really matter to you? Well, I'm going to say that it might matter to you, especially, well, it's not going to affect today. But, if you're going away for the 4th of July, it's a weird time this year. 4th of July being on a Wednesday. Do you celebrate it the weekend before, the weekend after, or like me, maybe you just celebrate it all week? And we're going to talk about that. Mission Fest. We're going to be down at Mission Fest Friday and Saturday nights. Check it out, missionfest.com. But going back to our oil prices, gas 285.6 is the national average right now. Here in California, we're paying $3.66.3. Yeah, the state of California likes your money. Yeah, they want to keep taking it. That's over and over again. I guess I should put that on a repeater, right? 366. If you're looking, $2.52.5 is the cheapest gasoline in the country. That is in South Carolina. $2.52.5, $1.14 less than we pay right here in the state of confusion.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. What a shame. Let's look at the markets. The bond market. 10-year Treasury up a little bit. The yield, 2.858 is the yield this morning. The 30-year fixed rate bond, the bond price, pretty flat right now. It was up quite a bit earlier. We're going to talk about that when we get into the Mortgage Minute a little later on in the broadcast. Big news here in Southern California, or at least for many of us here in Southern California. The big news: LeBron James signing for $154 million with the Lakers. Amazing. I didn't think that they would do that, but I guess they figured that it's worth it. Yeah, bringing a few bucks to the till. Wonder when you look at these numbers, $154 million over 4 years. Do you think it'll bring that much extra value to the franchise? Now, you knew there was some idea that this might be going on when you listen to Magic Johnson over the weekend. If you are a sports fanatic like I am, over the weekend, if you recall, Magic Johnson was talking about the idea that if he didn't get a big name person, that Jeannie Buss would, a big name free agent signing, Jeannie Buss would not have to fire him if he didn't do it in the next 2 years. He would leave on his own. Well, apparently he knew that he had the inside track here, because you can't get much bigger. And I don't know whether the Lakers will win. I still don't think they will. I hope they don't go and get Kawhi Leonard. I think that they're asking way too much for that. You've got some great, great young talent. Brandon Ingram could end up being better or as good as Kawhi Leonard. I wouldn't go giving away the farm to get Kawhi Leonard. If it's just me, but again, I don't have the $154 million, and I'm not like Magic saying, hey, you know something, I'll step down if we don't accomplish what we're looking to accomplish in the next year or two. Just a thought right there. I know that it's a Laker franchise. Whenever you're dealing with the Lakers franchise, you know, they don't expect anything less than championships. And the fact of the matter is, and something, even though he's now a Laker, or when the official signing comes to pass, that LeBron James will be a Laker, the history is, he doesn't necessarily, he has to have a lot of supporting cast. He's not the one that's going to bring the whole win to the team. Got to have a big supporting cast for that one. Moving right along, what else is happening in the news? A lot of disrest. I talk about this all the time, and one of the big issues that we're looking at right now is what's going on. Are we going to be into a trade war? And I'm looking right now, again, the Dow Jones Industrial Average down 140 points. The big number that we need to look at, S&P 500, it's at 2706. 2700 is a strong support level. If we break through that, we may see a bit of a fall. What is driving all this? And it's a lot of hysteria. That's the big issue. The big hysteria is the fact that we're looking for equality. Yeah, the Trump administration really is looking for equality. What they want to do is they want to make sure that our workers, our business, our industry is on an equal footing with other countries. And I listened to the interview with the president over the weekend. It was fascinating listening. If you listen with an open mind and to what the underlying concepts are, as opposed to strictly the partisan issues. And there's plenty of partisan issues to go around. But the underlying concept, what is he talking about? The idea there is you can't just single out. If you want to have a good relationship with other countries, how do you single one out for bad behavior when other countries are doing the exact same thing and nobody says a word about it? Does that make any sense to anybody? Is that logical? What are your thoughts about that? So here's the issue on that concept. We know that Canada decides, well, we're going to put tariffs on playing cards.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah. Does that really bother anybody that they're going to put a tariff on playing cards? The big issue is they've got a massive tariff on dairy products coming from the U.S. to Canada. They want to create an unlevel playing field for their people. So then we say, well, we're going to put a tariff on your products coming to the United States. Okay, we got a tit for tat going there. Then we look in the European Union. They extract $151 billion in the European Union, over $150 billion going from the U.S., more than what we sell to them. Do we have more people than they do? China, $375 billion they send to the United States, more than what they will buy from the United States. And they've got 10 times the number of people. 10 times. Now, if you said, well, they don't make anything in the United States, okay, we can go along with that. But is that the case? No, that's not the case at all. The fact of the matter is we make plenty of stuff here. They just put such high tariffs on it, or they just say, we're not going to allow it at all. Does that seem like it's an equitable relationship? Now, what is the results of all of this? And what is it that the media won't tell you because they continue with the narrative that it's just a trade war? Well, the net effect is very simple. The U.S. ends up getting onto an equal playing field in this war going between, or the battle between the countries. When we have an equal playing field, then what ends up happening is we end up making more cars in the United States. We can end up, our farmers can do better business because they're on an equal playing field. Our industry grows. What happens when our industry grows? Well, we get more jobs, but we don't have anybody to work. Okay, so we have to pay people more money. Now, we've got 37% of our population is unemployed or underemployed. Those are numbers coming from the labor participation rate and the Bureau of Labor Statistics U6 number. Do you think those people decide if it's more economically advantageous to them to go to work as opposed to sit home and collect welfare? Do you think they would rather go to work? Of course they would. So they end up making more money. When they have more money, they spend more money. When they spend more money, the economy continues to grow. Why is it the Atlanta Fed said they're looking at a 4.8% GDP this year? 4.8. Now, in all of the Obama years, we never got to 2, or we barely got to 2. So in the first 3 years of the Trump administration, will probably exceed all 8 years of GDP growth under the Obama years. Do you think that helps our economy? Do you think that helps our trade deficit? Do you think that helps our national debt? All of those things are impacted in a positive way if we can continue to grow our economy, grow our personal wages. We're going to talk more about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. We got a lot to chat about today. If you're buying a home this summer, be prepared for a bidding war. At Gold Star, they've got some solutions and answers for that issue. Does paying off your mortgage make sense under the new tax law? We'll also talk about some banking passwords. How's that going for you? Personal banking cheat sheet, all that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, yeah, you know it. Here it comes. Shame on you, but the replay will be available. The replay is available, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We will be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel lending team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel lending team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends over at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star has the programs, the products for you. You just need to go on their website or give me a call at 800-306-1990, and I'll put you in touch with the right folks over at Gold Star. They can help you out. Do a great job taking care of folks. And there's a lot of different programs out there. I'm hearing a lot of numbers, and I want to make sure that you're aware of what you're listening to in the Mortgage Minute today, because as you're a consumer advocate, we end up getting a lot of different people calling in, and sometimes they might just be a little bit misled. We don't like that on Ron Siegel Radio, so I do try to give you the truth of it. So I had somebody call me this last week and said, you know something? I'm getting a 4% 30-year fixed rate loan. And I said, okay, I get it. That's a great rate. The question I'll ask you is, how many points are you paying? What do you mean, Ron? How many points am I paying? What is the APR on that loan? And a lot of people don't look at the APR. They don't pay attention to the APR. And I've never been one that, unless the APR tells somebody that really knows the market, that's where the APR comes into play. That's where you can get some or glean some great information from APR. Most people don't understand APR, so they don't really get the benefit of what's trying to be conveyed through that process. So what are we trying to convey when we're looking at the APR? Well, that's building in what the cost of the loan is. Now, it could be lender fees. It could be a lot of different issues. But one of the items that gets put in there, so I heard over the weekend, a 30-year fixed rate at 4%, APR 4.26. What does that mean? What is it telling somebody? Well, what that means is they're paying 2 points to buy down the interest rate. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? It depends. Depends on your situation. It depends on your time horizon. What you have to do in a case like that is figure out what's your holding period. How long do you plan on holding the loan? Not the property. Could be one and the same, but the loan may be completely different. So I looked at, was chatting with somebody over the weekend again, and we were talking about the idea of a 7-year fixed rate or 7-year adjustable, and then it goes to a 7-year fixed, and then it goes to adjustable. Okay, the idea on that particular product is that you're going to either only hold the home for the loan for 7 years, or you're going to sell the home in less than 7 years. You may want to refinance the home in 7 years, right, to get another fixed period on there so you know exactly what your numbers are. So you have to look and say, okay, if I pay those 2 points up front, what is the turnaround period for the break-even point on those funds on the saved mortgage payment? So if your basic mortgage payment was, say, 4 3/4, and you pay 2 points and you go down to 4, how much is the loan amount? Multiply that times 2%. So if you're looking at a $400,000 loan, that's $8,000 that you're paying up front. Got it? Might be a good idea, may not be a good idea. We'll talk about it. But what is the payment drop? And divide 8,000 by the amount saved in the payments. That'll give you the total number of months that it's going to take you to break even on that 2 points. Many, many instances, the break even point does not make sense. Now, sometimes it'll make sense from a standpoint that you need that in order, you've got some cash and you don't have the funds available for your debt to income ratio. So in some instances, that will make sense. Most of the time, we find that if we do the analysis on it, doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So I just want you to be aware that that's what's really going on in those arena. And when you hear about a 4 to 4.26, that's what that's all about. Our friends over at Gold Star are constantly educating folks so that they understand what these different implications are, what the benefits are for you, for your family. That's the most important part. Because it's easy to advertise a loan, right? We do the commercials during the broadcast here as well. Easy to advertise. The big issue just becomes, what are you getting for it? Are you educating somebody to get the right information? So I'm looking right now. You could do a 4.25 or 4.75%. And the difference is, what is that? $120 a month, $130 a month. Okay, so if $8,000 divided by 130, that's your number that you're looking for. 8,000 divided by 130, and that tells you that the break even is a little over 5 years. Okay, so if you're planning on staying more than that, then it makes sense. You start saving money 5 years from now. Now, I'm going to share with you, and I get so many people that tell me, not me, Ron. That doesn't apply to me. Well, we keep our loans in this country for 5.2 years. Just take the total number of properties owned divided by refinances annually. 5.2 years is the amount of time that, on average, we keep our loans. Some people less, some people more, but those are the average numbers. That's the information we want to make sure that you're aware of. So what's happening in the mortgage market? Well, right now, the issues that we're going to be looking at going to be pretty quiet, right? Today and tomorrow, there's a lot of people are not working. The markets are going to be kind of quiet. The markets actually close early tomorrow. But here's the issue that you really need to be careful of. A lot of data coming out Thursday and Friday. We've got the ADP and the BLS jobs report going to be released Thursday and Friday, with the market expecting roughly 190,000 job creations in each report for the month of June. Additionally, the Fed minutes from June 13th Fed meeting, where the Fed hiked rates, those are going to be released. The rest of the week, so that's where you're going to see a lot of information coming out. So Thursday is going to be a lot of volatility. Friday, we've got that big BLS jobs report. We've got a lot of overhead resistance on mortgage bonds, so we'll probably see interest rates increasing. That's going to be the big issue right there as we push above that 100-day moving average. Bonds looking like they're overbought right now. So you just take a look at all these different numbers, and if you're thinking about buying a house, if you've already gone into contract, get that loan locked. Now, does that mean that you have to stick with the locked rate? No, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to stick with that locked rate. You're going to stick with that day. There's a reservation for money put in on that day, and you can change between a 15-year, a 30-year, points, no points. All of that stuff can be adjusted once you understand that you've got the money locked or reserved on a specific date. It's a Mortgage Minute again, brought to you by our friends over at Gold Star Mortgage. They're the only ones I know of that have the Fast Pass loan approval. I get this all the time, and I thought I would just go over some terms and phrases that you may hear but not understand. And it has a lot to do with banking terms. So I know it might sound a little boring, but in some instances it means a lot because it's your household, it's your family, it's your money. Compound interest, first term. First, you need to understand compounding. This is the process in which the value of an investment, the money you invest or put into a savings account, increases over time. Compounding is what allows your money to grow exponentially as the original amount of money you invest earns interest and the total amount increases. So the original plus the earned interest, and then that bigger sum of money earns more interest, and so on. So here's the issue. You can say, okay, I've got $1,000 earning 8% interest. Okay, let's look at that number. $1,000 at 8% interest. And you're going to have, what did I do? I just did something wrong in there. 1,000 times 8%, $80, right? So now if you say, okay, I've got 8% interest for 10 years, many people will say, okay, $80 times 10, 800, so you got 1,800 is the total money due. But not if you're compounding the interest. You would have 1,000 in year one. In year two, you're going to be getting interest on 1,080, right? So you have to understand that the extra $80 is now gaining interest as well. So the next year, your interest is $86.40. So you add that to the original 1,080, and that keeps on growing, and that's how that works. Compound interest is the addition of interest that's added to the original deposit, the investment, or loan amount. When interest is added to the principal original amount, that sum increases. As that total sum increases, interest is then added to the sum plus previously earned interest. And that is what allows your money to grow exponentially over time. One of the most important things to understand about money is that $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow. The time value of money assumes $1 now is worth more than $1 in the future because of variables such as interest and inflation. If you have 100 and do nothing with it, the value of that money will decline as time goes by. But if you put that $100 into a savings account or other type of investment account, it will start to earn interest, and that $100 will grow into a much bigger sum of money as interest is applied to the larger total amount over time. So how does this affect your savings? Compound interest is an extremely powerful force that allows investors to earn exponentially larger gains on their money over time. For example, when you invest money in a savings account, the money earns interest, which is added to the principal sum. Then over time, as more interest is added, that chunk of money continues to grow by bigger amounts. APR, we started talking about that a little earlier. I'm going to chat with you about that one when we come back. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, buying this summer, bidding wars, they may be here. Does paying off your mortgage make sense under the new tax law? And we got a lot more. We'll talk to you when you're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We will be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
What if your family business could help clothe a less fortunate family? Or your restaurant could feed truly hungry people? What if you could help to comfort the lonely? Plant sustainable resources where nothing has ever grown before? Or make a child's lifelong wish come true? What if all you had to do was simply do nothing more than what your business already does every day? Would you do it? Introducing Processing for a Cause, a unique program that turns a percentage of your business's credit card volume into ongoing donation dollars for nonprofit organizations and foundations. Simply switch your credit card processing provider to Processing for a Cause and begin supporting a worthy cause today. The process is simple, and the cause will change lives forever. Processing for a Cause.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel lending team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel lending team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. 1990, the real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST, N-E-S-T to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. Nest. You put in the parameters of what you're looking for. You get a text message every time there's something new that comes on the market in your area, the area that you've determined is where you want to live. Buying real estate this summer. Be prepared for bidding wars. You heard it here first. There could be some bidding wars.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Yes, summer's traditionally a busy season for real estate. Buyers come out in force and homeowners list their houses for sale, hoping to capitalize on those buyers who are looking to purchase before the new school year. This year, no different. Buyers have already been out in force looking for their dream homes, and more are on the way. The challenge is that the inventory of homes for sale is not kept up with demand, which has led to a lot of competition for the homes that are available. Recent article by the National Association of Realtors touched on the current market conditions, and I quote, "Realtors in areas with strong job markets report that consumer frustration is rising. Home shoppers are increasingly struggling to find an affordable property to buy, and the prevalence of multiple bids is pushing prices further out of reach," unquote. Realtor.com went on to explain why buyers are flocking to the market in such big numbers. A booming economy and stable employment in most parts of the country have created a new generation of eager home buyers and led to fevered price battles spilling over into some unexpected small markets, unquote. Javier Vivas, Director of Economic Research for Realtor.com, had this to say about competition, and again I quote, "Multiple offer scenarios are no longer reserved to the usual big, fast-moving markets. Demand for homes has spilled outward into secondary, smaller markets, and more buyers are gearing up to face fierce competition in more places around the country. Realtor.com looked at the number of homes that were selling above asking price to determine which markets were heating up. And I shared the top 10 on our social media earlier today. Akron, Ohio, number 1. Worcester, Massachusetts. Lexington, Kentucky. Irvine, California. Greensboro, North Carolina. Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Madison, Wisconsin. Louisville, Kentucky. Tacoma, Washington. And Little Rock, Arkansas. The bottom line, let's get together to discuss our market. And yes, I know some of you are in San Diego, North San Diego, Rancho Santa Fe. Look at the list here of who's been on this morning. Oceanside, Carlsbad area. I see you've checked in this morning. I see some Palm Springs, Palm Desert. I see some Temecula on the list here. Anaheim Hills is checking in. Great to see all of you with us this morning. I'm just looking at some of the names of folks who have checked in with us on our Ron Siegel Radio on the live broadcast on Facebook right now. Got some out-of-staters as well. We've got Palm Indio, La Quinta. Got a lot of you on there. Glad to see you. So if you're in any of those areas, let's chat strategy. Be happy to put you in touch with a great real estate professional in any one of those markets. We know them because we're out there talking to them all the time. We're doing seminars with and for them all the time. And we got a great team of people over with our friends at Gold Star Mortgage to help do whatever we need to do to help people get into the home of their dreams. We understand the process, and we're looking forward to helping some folks. So that is the real-time real estate segment, again, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. So before the break, we started chatting a little bit about some terms that many people don't know, don't think about when it comes to banking and personal banking. You know, we don't teach these things in school anymore, so where do you get the information? Well, I'm glad that you checked in with Ron Siegel Radio. Happy to give this information to you. APR is the next on our list. Annual percentage rate. Basically anything that's governed by CFPB, they've got to give you an APR. And it kind of builds in the cost of the loan as well as the interest rates. Your credit card has an annual percentage rate. It's essentially the price you pay to borrow money from the bank to charge purchases on the card. Credit card companies are required to clearly state the interest rate as a yearly rate before customers sign an agreement, and that's where the term APR, annual percentage rate, comes in. It gives consumers a way to compare offers from various lenders. A credit card company may also advertise its rates based on a monthly basis, which just gives you a breakdown of the APR. So if the monthly rate is 2%, 2% times 12, 24%, just for context, that's a pretty high APR, so they tell you 2% so that you don't realize how much you're really paying. However, you don't even need to worry about the APR if you use your credit cards responsibly, meaning you pay off the balance in full down to zero every month before the due date. And as always, I remind you, pay your credit cards twice, once right before the statement closing date as much as you can, and then make sure you make the payment before the due date so you are not late. Just a thought there. That's how you maximize your credit score as well. Well, you'll never have to pay any interest on the credit card if you pay it off completely. APY, the annual percentage yield, refers to the money you earn on a deposit, like into the savings account or CD over a year, taking into account compound interest. So let's say you put $1,000 into a savings account with an APY, annual percentage yield, of 1.2. That compounds daily, and then you contribute $25 a month for the next 12 months. After a year, the balance in the account would be $1,313.87. If you contribute $100 a month, you'd have $2,200 after 12 months. And just a bonus thought here for you. For years, earning much money on savings was pretty much impossible. However, after the Federal Reserve announced the year's second interest rate hike in June, raising their interest rate by 0.25% to a range of 1 to 1.25%, online banks began increasing interest rates on savings accounts as well. So right now you can potentially earn about 100 times more on your savings at an online bank compared to having your savings at one of the big banks on the corner, which currently offer only about a 1/100th of a percent on interest. That would be 1 basis point. Next on the list, a checking account. Basically a bank account that allows you to easily access your cash. With a checking account, you deposit money into the account, and then you can use a debit card to make purchases and withdraw cash. You can also write checks that withdraw money from the account. Typically, very few, if any, restrictions on how often you can access your money. However, some banks place daily limits on the amount you can withdraw from an ATM. Some banks, typically big traditional banks, will charge you a monthly fee on checking accounts. This type of maintenance fee is bogus and just another way for big banks to get more of your money. Plenty of banks, credit unions, and online banks that offer free checking, so make sure you do a little research before opening an account. Number 5 is a savings account. Great place to stash emergency savings as well as short-term savings, money you may need within the next 5 years or so. A savings account gives you easy access to cash, which is why it's a great option for your emergency funds. You can quickly and easily withdraw the cash you need to cover any emergency that pops up, like an unexpected car repair or medical bill. It's also a great place to keep your short-term savings, like money you may need for a down payment on a house or to buy a car, because you don't want to put that money at risk. The cash may not earn a ton of interest, but it will be safe in a savings account when you need it. Typically don't have restrictions on how much and how frequently you can deposit money into a savings account, but some banks do have limits on withdrawals. And there's always places where you can get some decent information on those accounts. CD, or certificate of deposit, that is next up. We'll talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. Does paying off your mortgage make sense under the new tax law? We'll chat about that one when we get back. You can also reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. On Twitter, @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area-trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com. Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel Team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRE NMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 0186945 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message. And as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has these solutions for you. You just need to go sign up on their website. Get the information that will serve your needs. They will give you some good tips on a regular basis. Does it make sense to pay off your mortgage under the new tax law? That is the question. We know there's been a lot of changes to the tax law recently. Among them, you may have heard about a real doozy for mortgage holders, less benefit from the mortgage interest deduction for many people. What does that mean for you and your wallet? Well, here it is. According to a report in the Wall Street Journal, some people who have been used to claiming the mortgage interest deduction in the past may not be able to do so going forward. In fact, new projections from Congress's Joint Committee on Taxation show that the mortgage interest deduction will be going away for about 18 million of us this year because of certain provisions in the new tax law. In raw numbers, that means only 13.8 million taxpayers are expected to file a 2018 return claiming the mortgage interest deduction. That's down from 32.3 million filers who got the deduction on the 2017 taxes. To put it another way, the savings from mortgage interest deduction are expected to drop to $25 billion in 2018 returns, down from $59.87 billion last year. So why such a stark change coming? We'll chat about that one. Here's a look at the specific changes in the law that will create this situation. First, the doubling of the standard deduction to $12,000 for most single filers and $24,000 for most married couples means it no longer makes sense to break out mortgage interest on Schedule A. Second, the new cap on deducting more than $10,000 of state and local income or sales and property taxes is per tax return, not per person. Therefore, if you have the maximum SALT deductions of $10,000, you still need more than an additional $14,000 to make it worth it to file a Schedule A and claim the mortgage interest deduction. Anything less than $14,000 other write-offs, including things like mortgage interest and charity, you don't get the benefits of that write-off like you used to. Of course, if you're single, you only need an additional $2,000 in write-offs, assuming you have the maximum SALT deductions of $10,000. So it's more likely you'll get the mortgage deduction than a married couple. So single people get a benefit. Third reason you may not be able to claim the mortgage interest deduction going forward is if you made a new home purchase on or after December 15th, 2017, and the purchase price was above the new limit of $750,000 for up to 2 homes. So does paying off the mortgage make sense for you? That's the question. With the mortgage interest deduction going away for an estimated 18 million taxpayers, it's safe to say there's no time like the present to pay off your mortgage if doing so is within your means and you do not have the ability to make more money with your money than the interest rate. Oh, what do you mean by that? Well, if you understand how arbitrage works, if you're borrowing at 4.5 and you can earn 6.5, you're better off with that 6.5 not paying off your mortgage. Now, some people argue if you're borrowing at a very low interest rate, maybe your mortgage starts with a 2, for example, there's no rush to pay off your mortgage, and there's certainly a case to be made for that way of thinking when you consider opportunity cost and the fact that tax law changes. So we saw this big change in the tax law. We've been listening to Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer. They're a big proponent on going the other direction. Right or wrong, it doesn't matter. That's their commentary is, we want to increase your taxes. So if that's the case, okay, well then, that might just be the scenario right there that you're dealing with. I like the idea of making money and having money available because you can always invest it in something else. But if your mortgage is your last debt in life, may not be anything like the peace of mind that comes with being completely debt-free. And once you get that mortgage paid off, you can fully fund other avenues like your retirement savings every year going forward. So it's really like 6 of one or half a dozen of the other, as the saying goes. I'm personally not a fan of paying off your mortgage. It's important to look at the big picture of your current financial situation. Many factors to take into account before making this type of a decision. Do you have an emergency fund? Do you have other consumer debt that should be paid off? Are you saving for retirement and fully taking advantage of any employer match on your 401k? Perhaps the most important concern of all is how paying off the mortgage early fits into your long-term financial and wealth building strategies. You'll need your month-to-month budget and finances to be well in order to support that goal. Have you looked at an amortization schedule to track the progress of what you're doing? If you still decide a zero mortgage balance should be an immediate goal for you, give me a call at 800-306-1990. I can give you an amortization table based on what you're doing now and what your thoughts are. Be forewarned, the numbers aren't pretty with an amortization schedule. When you first take out a loan, most of your money gets eaten up by interest and very little goes toward your mortgage principal balance. In fact, looking at a mortgage amortization schedule, some people decide, well, maybe I won't do it, or maybe I'll start paying an extra $100 a month just to bring down that mortgage balance. Just a thought for you right there. That is the Your Credit Matters segment, again brought to you by our friends over at creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? So we've been going over my personal banking cheat sheet, different terms and phrases you should know, but many people never, ever get that information. Certificate of deposit, what is it? It's also called a CD. They are deposit accounts that require you to commit your savings for a specified period of time, which may be anywhere from 1 month to several years, meaning you can't withdraw the money without paying penalty fees. In many cases, the longest CD term banks offer is 5 years. In exchange for that long-term commitment, you'll typically earn a higher interest rate than you would on a savings account. However, unlike in a savings account, your money is not available anytime you want it. If you withdraw from a CD before that specified term, typically you have to pay a penalty. So you want to make sure that the money you invest is cash you know you won't need for a period of time. Next one up, FICO score. We talk about that a lot on Ron Siegel Radio. So here's the issue. This is one source and one source only for your true credit score. FICO, the Fair Isaac Corporation, your true credit score is known as a FICO score. FICO score is a number between 300 and 850 that evaluates your risk as a borrower. I did have a discussion a couple months ago with somebody that said, no, my FICO score goes up to 900. Well, on credit cards, sometimes they do, but more often than not, that would be the indication that you're dealing with a Vantage score, not a FICO score. Since the number is based on how well or poorly you've managed your money obligations over time, lenders use it to determine how big of a loan they think you can handle and the likelihood that you'll pay it back. Since FICO dominates the credit score market, the three main credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, started selling their own version called a Vantage score. This is just one of the many other scoring systems trying to compete with the FICO score, but the score you want to focus on is your FICO score. You have a FICO score with each of the three main credit bureaus. Each bureau's score will vary slightly because of differences in the way they compile information for you, but they'll all be similar in range. The credit score most used by lenders is Equifax FICO score, but it really depends on the lender. More often than not, we're looking at what is the middle score of the three. That's the number that you'll see used most frequently. Number 8 is overdraft protection and fees. According to Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB, banks made about $11.2 billion in overdraft and non-sufficient fund fees in 2015. The way an overdraft fee works is if you make a transaction that drops your account balance below zero, the bank covers the difference or puts your account into negative funds and then charges you a fee for it, typically around $35, plus you also owe the bank the difference. Overdraft protection programs typically cover checks, recurring online transactions, debit card transactions, and in some cases, everyday debit card and ATM transactions. Most U.S. banks, 84% of the largest, allow customers to overdraw their accounts when they don't have enough money to cover a transaction, according to a report by the Pew Charitable Trusts. $35 fee typically isn't caused by a big purchase. In fact, the CFPB found that the median transaction amount that generates this type of fee is just $50, and for debit card transactions, a mere $24. Talk about a big waste. How to avoid overdraft fees? Opt out. Big part of the reason why this costs consumers so much money is because many don't realize they can opt out of overdraft protection, which is just the bank's way of saying it will protect you by paying for something you can't afford, and all you have to do is pay a huge fee for the service. We might try and get more of these in the broadcasts to come, because we have to ask you now to set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to our sponsors. A big thanks to John, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.